Yep. In this video, I'm going to share my personal experience on how I, learned about it, what I do, and the potential health benefits. Of course, it's not medical advice at all. This is just really a new science, as it were, and there is science to back up a lot of this, which is very, very interesting.
Yeah, the way I've been doing it, I found this cool little spot here with a long grass trail, more or less grass. And then I just pop off the old shoes and, do the old earthing that way, which is really fantastic.
Hi, everybody. David here from Pineacker01. Yeah, this grounding or earthing I've been doing for about a year now, and it really has surprising benefits, at least as far as I can tell. I mean, the pain in my knees gone, and a bunch of other things. And if nothing else, you get close to nature. But what is grounding, and what are the scientifically proven, or at least said, health benefits? Grounding, also known as earthing, is the practice of connecting one's body to the natural electrical charge of God's earth. It's that simple. By the way, would love to hear your grounding or earthing experiences as well. Please share in the comments any tips or tricks that you might have, because I'm just still learning this even after a year, and I'm sure many other people have questions as well. So please share your experiences. Very interested to hear. This can be done by direct contact of the skin on the hands or bare feet with the surface of the earth, or through the use of grounding systems. Yeah, they even have like these things you can buy, like bed sheets and foot, places you can place your feet, places you can put your hands when you're working on your desk. Desk pads, all kind of stuff like that. And my focus was, well, yeah, there's a plethora of things you can buy, but why pay money if you can do it for free? Earthing or grounding has been around for centuries, decades, thousands and thousands of years. Indigenous people have been doing it for a long time, and it's recently been gaining popularity. There's an excellent movie that helped make this all popular called The Earthing Movie, and I really recommend you watch it. I'll put a link below. It really opened my eyes up to what's possible here.
Then I hop on the bike when I hit the asphalt and go. Although I read you can walk on concrete, but asphalt is not, loses the negative electrons. But concrete and bricks, they pass through the negative electrons, which our body lacks because of all the rubber-soled shoes and, other synthetic floorings and things that block our connection with God's earth. And it's a beautiful day out here. Look at all the birds.
One aspect of grounding suggests that the Earth's charge is negative. The electrical charge of the Earth is negatively charged, which would be electrons as opposed to protons, which are positive particles. And when the body comes in direct contact with the Earth, it absorbs the free electrons, the negatively charged particles, from the Earth's surface. It's an instant transfer. Let me show you something here. We're nothing but a power plant. And I bought this once. I got it from my wife. She let me keep it because she's a school teacher. But check this out. If you grab one side and someone else grabs the other side, you get that. Now, I don't have anyone else here, but if someone else would grab it, you get the same thing. You see there's a connection. There's a power in us, amazing power. The lights used to light up. Why aren't they lighting up? I guess I did this trick too many times. These electrons are believed to act as antitoxins, neutralizing harmful effects of free radicals and other recent discoveries, so to speak, which are in the body and produce inflammation, the infamous inflammation. Now, this is scientifically proven, the electrical side of this. You can see here from these sort of tests, I can measure this grounding in earth, grounding on areas which are not grounded. You can see it with a voltmeter. I've done it. I've seen the videos online. You can search them. The science is quite clear. There's something going on. The benefits is where it gets, there's not as much quote unquote study. But we read here, atmospheric electricity is always present, and during fine weather, away from thunderstorms, which of course whack everything out, the air above the surface of the earth is positively charged, while the earth's surface charge is negative. So there you go. It's often said that the human body is neutrally charged, meaning it has an equal amount of electrons and protons, or negative and positively charged particles. However, since about the let me find it here. Then enter rubber-soled shoes. For thousands of years, we walked on leather-based shoeing, or let's call biologically based shoe wear, or no shoes at all if conditions were fine for that. But many indigenous people had shoes. I mean, you just have to be in the high desert in Nevada, and you can see very quickly they must have had something to walk around on. But a lot of them went barefoot. That is also true. Rubber-soled shoes started in the 1800s, and in the 1920s and 30s, rubber-soled shoes were really taking off. So that's when it all started. But it really wasn't until like the 60s and 70s where it really started taking off. And basically, when all the production went offshore in all the various countries, everything just went rubber. For good reason. You get better grip, anti-slip, and for running and even walking, it acts like a cushion. So it feels good at first glance. Even this walking barefoot is a whole other topic, that people are doing that and running barefoot because it's better for your body alignment, and you get earthing benefits all at the same time. Another video. The problem is with all these rubber-soled shoes is that it acts as an insulator between us and the earth, between us and God's free electrons that are coming from the earth and have been zooming up into us since, Adam and Eve. This means we're storing up more positively charged protons than negatively charged electrons. So our body is out of balance. And it's kind of interesting, around the same time that the rubber shoes were going up, the epidemic known as inflammation is skyrocketing. Inflammation is known as the silent killer. It is, without a doubt, a very serious problem. Now, inflammation is a key factor in many chronic diseases, and grounding has been found to have anti-inflammatory effects. You'll see in that video I linked below and some of the research. The problem with inflammation, it can also be internally in various organs in various places where you don't really see it, you just feel the symptoms. Inflammation is a silent killer, and it's really perhaps down to the charge of our body not being balanced. Of course, food, health, and general, activity is definitely a part of the issue, and we'll get to that in a moment. These machines, these electrical fields all around us, zapping us, with EMF energy day in, day out. Research even suggests that grounding can influence the concentrations of white blood cells, cytokines, and other molecules, which are all involved in the inflammatory response. So there's a bunch of studies out on this, and you'll see that most of them are not that old, relatively recent. The reality is many of us don't have a balance between neutrally and positively charged particles within our body. So yes, it's in the shoes, it's in materials we wear, it's all around us, it's on the floors we walk on, it's in so many places where it's not properly grounded.
For about a week, there's a leg that got caught. I feel better. My knee, I have a sort of problem with my knee through my broken leg. My ankle got twisted and my knee is now out of place, and that causes certain pain, like arthritic almost, probably is what it's going to lead to. So this really seems to help. And my broken leg and ankle in general, my foot, less aches, daily aches, constant, seems to just sort of fade away, and a bunch of other things. It's really seems positive, at least at this stage.
So what are some of the health benefits and well-beings of grounding or earthing? Cardiovascular health. A study found that grounding resulted in significantly less red blood cell clumping which suggests benefits for cardiovascular health. Very important. Reduce muscle damage and pain. This is what really, where I, oh boy, I can say this one has helped me for sure. Another study indicated that grounding reduced muscle damage and pain in participants, suggesting that it may influence healing abilities. Pain and stress reduction. Participants in a grounding therapy reported reduced pain, stress, depression, and fatigue after the therapy. Inflammation reduction. Grounding has been found to reduce inflammation and improve overall mental well-being. We showed you that link earlier. Improve mood. Grounding the human body is shown to have a positive effect on the moon. So on the mood. So getting in negative electrons help you be more positive, because the negative electrons and protons come together, balance everything out, and make you more positive. Enhanced energy and sleep. Grounding has been reported to reduce fatigue, increase energy levels, and improve sleep quality. So yeah, it's important to note some of these are subjective studies, and the benefits are intriguing, but of course they always warrant further research. Like the movie you'll see in the link that got me all started in this, they have a big warning at the start that the EPA hasn't even approved this in the US as anything proven, because it's hard to prove in some cases. But when you see what that man did when he went into the village up in Alaska and started curing one problem after the other problem after the other problem, boy, it's really an eye-opener.
Most of all about this, it's free. You just hop on your bike or take a walk, take your shoes off, and it's, it's your God-given right to just feel at one with his nature, and it really is a good feeling in general. Some better sections over here, I get in the nice thick grass, and it just feels great. And it's even a little chilly today. Do have to watch out for the geese droppings, but hey, it's par for the course. Yeah, the whole key with this whole deal is inflammation. That's what I noticed with my broken leg, which was, over on this side, you still see the scars. And it gets thicker throughout the day, especially when I'm active. And if it's really like a hot day and I did a lot, my whole leg will get very thick. And what this does, it helps lower the inflammation. And inflammation is basically a killer, or at least a debilitator. And you can get inflammation all over in your heart and your veins, and it's really something you have to try to keep to a minimum. And the negative electrons help reduce inflammation throughout your whole body, so that then your other elements can help get into wherever they need to get into to fix things or keep things flowing naturally. So it's really interesting. I also take turmeric. That really helps too, without a doubt. Indian spice. And that's another inexpensive, totally natural way, to help reduce inflammation. But yeah, this earthing, this grounding, I kind of like it. Get my 15-20 minute walk in, and I can do a double loop if it's a free day, and if it's a nice day, and get a full dose of this action. And I don't have to buy any products or anything. Although I'm going to probably buy some earthed shoes, some suede or leather soled shoes, because that is the big culprit in this whole deal.
I just want to cut in real fast. I got these shoes here. These ones here, they were really inexpensive. Basically moccasins, soft suede leather moccasins. These are great. You walk totally different. That's the thing about walking barefoot. You walk different. Your whole body gets a different, movement about it. It's different for all your muscles and everything. And these basically are just like walking barefoot, So I do these sometimes walking the dog. It's the winter, so I stopped doing that for now. And I got these too, and I'll be trying these out in the summer, leather. So try those out when it gets a little bit warmer here.
Anyway, just living and learning. Thank you, God. Well, it's cool. Get a nice bike ride back after that. Beautiful. Lambs are getting big. So, I mean, in the most general sense, it's really about getting back with nature. I think many of us have lost touch with that through the years, through the decades. Oh, there's always a lot of birds out here. In the winter, they just gather here like in whole flocks. Late winter, it's amazing. You get some exotic birds here. We had flamingos out here one year. In February too. It's all about listening to your body and understanding, you know, what works, what doesn't work, what's reasonable, what's not reasonable. Now there are a bunch of products you can buy. I haven't bought any. I haven't bought anything, but I am looking into like a pad for on your desk, so when you're working, you can, through your arms and elbow, wrists, you can get negative electrons zooming up into your body. And there's bed sheets, but I heard those are, when they get sweaty or a little bit wet, that the silver threads will sort of not work as good anymore. There are pads you can put on your bed. I heard they work pretty good. But the problem here in the Netherlands, we have type C outlets, and not all of them are grounded. Only the bathroom and the kitchen require grounded outlets. So I have to figure out exactly, do I run an extension cord from, the bathroom into my bedroom? I don't know. I could probably get a grounded outlet. I gotta look into that. So there's a bunch of little things to investigate. It does get a little bit technical here and there, but it's really quite basic. There's a lot of information on YouTube where basically I learned everything about until now. And I talked to a couple people.
And yet another point is that grounding can potentially help you restore the body's natural electrical balance. So in this modern lifestyle, we're often exposed to electromagnetic radiation from computers, from these things, which can really disrupt the body's electrical system. So everyone knows, like, if you live under power lines, oh no, you're going to get all kinds of diseases and all that. Well, why is that? There's a lot of research into that as well. Grounding is thought to help to rebalance, stabilize the electrical system. So this would help promote overall well-being and help with the effects of electromagnetic waves. So what are electromagnetic waves, and how do they affect the body? Well, we read here, exposure to high-intensity, low-frequency electromagnetic fields, such as those emitted by certain industrial machines, for example, can stimulate the nervous tissue of the human body, and it goes on and on and on. We all know this is a problem. You even have an app. I have an app on here which will measure the EMF exposure that you might have from any given device, which I recommend you all download and try. Grounding or earthing is believed to help against increased exposure to electromagnetic radiation in several ways, although it cannot completely block EMF radiation from entering the body. And I'll put a link to this information to a document where you can get this. Reducing induced body voltages. Grounding has been shown to reduce the induced body voltage generated by exposure to extremely low frequency ELF electromagnetic fields emitted by underground electronic devices or those with plugged in electrical cords, stabilizing the body. Contact with the Earth's surface, grounding, helps to stabilize the body after exposure to electromagnetic radiation. It is believed to mitigate some of the damage caused by exposure to human-made EMF radiation. Balancing electron deficient free radicals. The Earth is a reservoir of free electrons, and grounding allows the body to balance the charge of electron-deficient free radicals. Without a connection to the reservoir, the cells in our body struggle to balance the charge of these free radicals. Shielding effect. Grounding can reduce the levels of induced voltages in the body by effectively shielding it with the Earth's large electrical mass. This can help minimize the impact of electromagnetic radiation on the body. Important to note that it does not provide complete protection against EMF exposure, nor is it proven, especially when using electrical devices directly against the body. Additional measures such as minimizing exposure to EMF sources and using shielding devices may be necessary for comprehensive EMF protection. So before we jump back in the video, what's the overall benefits of walking around barefoot? Because you get noticed, that's for sure. You get a lot of interesting conversations. Walking barefoot in the grass, a moist grass is better. It's considered a perfect way and a free way, a God-given way to ground or earth yourself. When you walk barefoot, your skin comes in direct contact with the Earth's surfaces, allowing you to suck up free electrons from the Earth, helping build your force field shield, as it were. It's instant. The moment you touch, the flow of electrons starts. Just like this, the moment you touch, it starts. It's that fast. The longer you can hold it, the better. This practice is believed and is being proven to have several, if not numerous, medical benefits. I'd say probably just incredibly numerous. Just the mental well-being and the fact you're out in nature is just in and of itself amazing. So it's really, really interesting. One thing was cool, the lady she showed with the grounded shoes, you know, the leather sole shoes or suede soled shoes that she had normal shoes on, and he had the grounded shoes, and you could have a meter, you can measure this all, and with that meter you could see that he was getting in negative electrons. You could see the charge going up on him. On her you saw that she had none. But when he simply touched her, just like, you know, grabbed her hand, so to speak, held onto her hand, she instantly started getting a flow of negative electrons. So it passes from person to person through the earth, which is really quite interesting. And these rubber shoes, since the 50s and 60s, the rubber-soled shoes is just terrible, absolutely terrible. So this is something that should be looked on at a much deeper level, in my opinion, because if it's not good for people, then it should not be allowed. They have to figure something else out. There's plenty of alternatives to rubber-soled shoes. It's just that now they're a little bit more expensive, and not even that much more. But it's a beautiful area right here. Look at this. Look at the pheasants over there. And we got the kiwi. There's a ton of them out here. It's been about 3 weeks I've been doing this, and all thanks to God. I mean, with 100%, but the pain in my knee's going away. Now, I don't know exactly who or what, but by the way, I'm walking today. It just rained. It's the best time to go when it just rains. Everything's nice and moist, and it's just so amazing to walk in this type of stuff. Hard to explain. You just have to do it. Just like my dog. He just does it.
earthing's maybe more the hippie-ish view, and grounding's more the scientific view. But what it comes down to is walking in your bare feet, or basically any part of your body, your hands. That's why they always say like working in the garden's good for you, because it literally is. And it has to do with the negative electrons that come up from the earth that we don't get due to rubber-soled shoes. So I take the dog for a walk, I kick off my shoes, I found a nice grass path. Well, you know, you gotta watch out, but that's also good for your walking posture. I mean, Indians, they walk barefoot or with leather-soled shoes. Leather allows the negative electrons through. Rubber does not. Suede will let the electrons through. Certain floors like bricks or certain cements will let the electrons through, but insulated floors generally do not. So basically our body is not getting the negative electrons from God's earth that's needed. So that's why I'm trying it out. I've been doing it now for a few weeks, and I have to admit it's in any event, it's like you feel free in a strange sense, if nothing else. But I definitely see some positive effects, if nothing else, just mentally. But I think definitely my knee pain, which I've had for months now, is dissipating. Things like that. So take it for what it's worth, but getting out in the old bare feet on the moist grass is definitely an experience. Or go to the beach. Now what really pushed me over the edge, you can actually measure this. And once again, there's a lot on YouTube, so I won't go too much into it, but you can actually get a voltmeter and measure the voltage when you're wearing shoes. Coming in is nothing. And when you ground yourself with your bare feet on the ground, it shoots right up. So those electrons flow through you. You don't feel them necessarily. Some people might, they say. You know, positive energy-like feeling. But it's like in the natural ether all around you. And by grounding, you get even more, because that's the source in this case. So it's a very interesting concept, and there's some great videos on it which proclaim amazing effects. There's a place in Alaska where the whole town did it, and amazing effects. Now look, whether it's, what do you call it, placebo effect or whatever, hey, it's working, it's helping people. So it's like worth a shot, right? And it's cheap, it's free. There's all kind of devices you can buy, and I'm looking into some of that. Some of them are pretty affordable. But in general, you just get out, walk in the grass for a half hour or an hour if you can, and it's great. If your dog will keep up with you, you might be out here for hours. Hey buddy, come on. Cuckoo bird. That's an interesting bird, the cuckoo bird. Look that one up on the internet too, how they lay their eggs and how they quote unquote bring up their young. It just feels great. Got to watch out for the odd, pricker thing or whatever, and of course the bird doo-doos. But anyway, it's all in the fun. And you come across the coolest things like these, just relatively born this week at least. They're still small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's also a whole barefoot movement. That's been going on for years, of course, but very interesting. They even have 5-toed shoes with a low profile. Low profile is also a thing. But the main thing is this getting out there and getting these electrons. It's pretty amazing. yeah, water is the key to this whole process as well. Dried out areas will have less electrons flowing freely. So once again, water, the miracle called H2O, two thing, hydrogen, oxygen, and yeah, water is amazing. Not only the need for water, but just the fact that our body's made up of like 60 to 70, even 75% water, depending on the person. And that water, Luc Martinière, the French scientist, found out that water can hold memory. Certain kinds of water, structured water, easy water, as Dr. Pollard calls it. There's just very interesting things about water that's all around us and helps free the electrons that come up from the earth that God gave us. And they gotta learn to stay away from danger.
So yeah, you've come this far. We're almost done. A little bit of footage after this, but basically the footage was filmed about a year ago, a little bit less. And I went through the process, kept filming here and there. I went with the dog or whatever, and it's really been great. I mean, the pain in my knee is gone. Now there's been more active, maybe this and maybe that, but hey, the reality is the pain is gone thanks to God. And there's other things, but I haven't done it for a couple months here. Basically, here and there, I would go out, like walk out in the patio. You can walk on bricks that you're grounding then, and I've tested this with the voltmeter. I'm going to make another video on that. That was quite interesting. It works. Like you can see it, the number, boop, it shoots right up, just like this thing. It's like, boom, So I really enjoy it. And I think that's the whole key is get out there and enjoy it. And, go out there in a thoughtful way, a prayerful way. If, you believe in God like I do, you can go out there and just have a great, prayer session and a spiritual experience while you're out there. So it's really, really great. But I highly recommend it. It's really something that has been beneficial, I believe, to myself, and I've learned a lot over the year. And there's a lot more to learn. There's so much, around this, and it really is like a movement. That video is just amazing. To link down below. So, little story. I was walking. This is now before the winter. It was the fall. And all of a sudden, this guy I saw in the distance, I had a good vibe when I saw him coming, and I noticed he was barefoot, just like on the street here. And so I started chat with him, and turns out he was a Christian, and he writes books about how he was saved and about God, and that's like his living. He's moving to Spain or something, basically. I gave him my email, never heard back. Maybe it got deleted or whatever. A very interesting guy, but we had a whole talk about going barefoot. Now, he didn't really know too much about the science of it all. He just said to him it felt right. It feels good. And that's why he does it. And that's like very, very interesting, and you get in a lot of conversations when I'm out there, people walking their dog, whatever, like, hey, where's your shoes, and a lot of people say nothing, which is interesting as well, which is probably the better way. But anyway, you get some great conversations, and it's really, really interesting, and I really enjoy it. And I believe it has definite benefits. A lot of the information that we presented here, I think, shows that as well. So all the best on your journey. I'm going to end with one little cool thing here. Bible verses about walking barefoot. Let's end with this. 2 Samuel 15:30. And David went up by the ascent of the Mount of Olives and wept as he went up. And he had his head covered and went barefoot. And all the people who were with him covered their heads and went up, weeping as they went up. There you go, King David. Let's go to Exodus 3:5. And I'm using the Names of God Bible. Verse 4 first. And Yahweh saw that he turned aside to see, and Elohim called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses, Musha, Musha, and said, Here I am. And he said, Do not come here. Take your sandals off, for the place on which you are standing is set apart ground. So we had to walk barefoot up into there. Very interesting, right? And then in Joshua 5:15, and the captain of your host Jehovah said to Yahusha, Take your sandals off your foot, for the place where you stand is set apart. And Yahusha did so. Joshua. God bless. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the video. Time to get some fresh strawberries here, right from the greenhouse. They grow them here, right behind my house, right in there. All the little goats.